And then as soon as the sun goes down, Mom turns the lights on the outside and leaves the front door unlocked, waiting for her daughter to come back. She never does, ever. What's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I hope you stay because it's pretty fun here, at least I think so. Okay, so we're back with another episode, another video of the 31-day Ghosts Glam series. And if you don't know what this series is, basically for 31 days I am posting every single day makeup videos, me doing my makeup, and sharing with you a spooky, horror, ghost, paranormal, whatever you want to call it, story that I've experienced somewhere along the way. Today we are mini-series within a series where I am telling you about this house that was really active, that I moved in when I was 14, going on 15. And I think today's gonna be the final day of that mini series about the house. Unless my sister decides to talk about it when she's here, then we'll record a bonus episode for the mini series, but not a bonus episode for this. Anyways, I'm talking too much. Before we dive into it though, I'm so excited. We're almost at 100 subscribers and I am trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of October. So if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. If you're into these type of videos, like story time videos, makeup videos, or if you just want to see like vlog style things of me just bringing awareness and making content about physical differences, living life with physical differences. So if you're into any of that, hit subscribe. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up now and I'll dive right into the video. So I've told you basically a bunch of little things that have happened. Some of the more major things introduced the train track girl, the dream girl, and how she kept playing an intricate part in this house. From the very beginning, we constantly dream about her. She was just always there. And like I told you, from like the dreams to very accurate, very real, seeing the shadows, seeing the people, my friends experiencing stuff. It got to the point where friends were scared to go to this house. But we were, getting closer to the end of the lease. Because like I said, like I told you guys in the beginning, this specific house, it was the lease to buy. But my mom at this point had decided we are not gonna stay because this house is creepy as hell. So she had already made the decision that we were not gonna stay in this house. We would be moving back to our old house, basically the house that was my childhood home. Mom still lives in that house till this day. I have a story about that house from the beginning of this series, so you can go back and listen to that. But basically, at this point, we're already decided we're not going to stay. We're packing all this stuff. And I start to get curious because I'm like, okay, all these things are happening, but there's no real explanation. Like, obviously, the lights are going on and off outside every single time at the same time. We've seen the man go from the garage to the bar, and it's just like a very obvious thing that these spirits, these entities are in a loop, meaning it's doing the same thing over and over and over again every single day. There is different types of entities, as you may probably know if you are into ghost and ghost hunting and this type of content. So you have your entities that remain and stay unfinished business. So they're just like roaming around. I'm gonna butcher this because I did not look into it. I heard this a long time ago, but basically it's the ones that are just here to finish unfinished business, take care of people, visit people, whatever. And then you have the ghosts that really never realized that they had passed. Therefore, they continuously live that moment, that day, their habits, their life over and over and over again as a repetitive loop. And so you have those, and then you have the types that are living with us at the same time, and they just are in a different dimension, right? And to them, we are the ghost. To us, they're the ghost. Who knows? But these in particular, these entities in the house seemed to be on a loop. They seemed to day in, day out do the same things, from the lights to the walking to the stairs, the shower turning on, the one in the hallway. And so basically I was like, okay, me being curious and me loving like all things spooky, I was like, okay, there has to be some type of explanation here. Like, I doubt this is just random. There's a reason why this keeps happening, and I want to know the story behind this house. So what does my, at the time, 15-year-old self start doing? I start to do research on that house. And I'm like, okay, there has to be information, but nothing was coming up. And when I tell you these houses are old, like, this neighborhood has been around for years. Like, when I talk about years, I mean like decades. Like, it is one, if not the oldest neighborhood in my hometown. And so I started doing research. Nothing is popping up. And I'm just like, okay, any deaths by like train tracks? And there's a couple, but nothing is really standing out. So I was like, okay, I cannot figure this out. Like, I really cannot figure this out. And at this point, we had only a couple days left in the house. And so I remember being like, all right, I want to know what this house holds, and I want to know who these entities are. So I kept researching, nothing was coming out. And I was finally like, you know what? If I am meant to know, I will find it. I would just live my life. The TV was still changing. Weird stuff continued happening. And I would even say, like, it increased when we started moving things out, started moving furniture out, etc. Like, things kind of got a little bit weirder, a little bit more intense. And my dreams started to get a lot stranger. And by that I mean, like, the girl was getting closer to me every time she would call me over, or she would be like mouthing stuff to me, and I really couldn't tell what she was saying, but she kept mouthing stuff to me, and it was just so weird. But on, I want to say, the second to last day of us being there, I remember having this, I don't want to call it a dream, but just like a knowing. Like, I remember I was sitting down, probably doing homework or something I was writing. Maybe I was just writing, I don't know. I go into phases of like really writing a lot. I love journaling. Quick little shameless plug, which is why I launched my own journal called Journaled. You can find the link in the show notes. It is 222 days of journal prompts, of guided journal prompts, and it's really cool. So if you want to check that out, check it out. But I loved writing, so I was writing something, and yeah, I just remember starting to write this whole narrative of the house. And basically, what came through was that a family lived in that house years and years and years ago. And it was the mom, the dad, the girl, the teenager, and her little brother. They were just a normal, happy family. And by happy, I don't know actually how happy, but just a normal family. We'll keep it at that. And so, I don't know what happened, but one day, the teenage girl decided that she wanted to leave her home. Whether it was for a guy, I really don't remember, and I wish I still had those entries, those writings. But she wanted to leave home, and her parents would not let her. They wouldn't let her leave, but she really, really wanted to get out of town. So one day, what she decides to do is, like every other 16-ish-year-old, she decided that she was going to run away. And so one night, without anyone knowing, little Miss Train Tracks over here decides that she is gonna execute her plan and leave. Next morning, her parents put up and they cannot find her, of course, because she left. And as they are looking for her, they get the whole city involved, trying to find her. No one's heard from her, no one's seen her. Her friends have no idea where she went. And like, this is the olden days, so when they don't have cell phones. And so every night, the mom at the same time takes her shower, which is why the shower turns on every single day at the same time. And then as soon as the sun goes down, mom turns the lights on the outside and leaves the front door unlocked, waiting for her daughter to come back. But she never does, ever. The little brother doesn't know what's going on, so he's just living his life, coloring on the walls, unaware of why his mom's so sad, unaware as to why his sister's not home anymore. And the dad, well, he should be the strong one, but he's not, because his little girl's missing. And so what does he do? Every day after work, he drinks and drinks and drinks, pacing from the garage into the bar and out back, just waiting for their daughter to come back home. And so I remember when this came through to me, it just made so much sense. I was just like, okay, that could actually be a possibility. Like, homegirl decided to leave, never came back, family died waiting for her without any answers. Now, why was there a lock in my sister's closet? I have no idea. Why the mom, the female voice that we talked about earlier, would call out our names. Could be because we were teenage girls and we reminded her of her daughter. I don't know. But what I do know is that I never found any solid information on this. I cannot, for the life of me, figure out if this is even accurate or if this is just something that I, in my little 15-year-old head, made up to make sense of all the weirdness that happened in that house. I feel like it's pretty accurate. I feel like it makes sense. But again, I've never found any information about this house. So I cannot for a fact say that that is what happened. Could it be? Possibly. I never felt scared in that house, I will say that. In fact, that house felt very, very, very much like home to me. To my sister, it did not. To my mom, it did not. But to me, it always did. Like I said, before I left that house, I dreamt that girl one final time, and she was asking me to not leave, and if I did leave, to please come back. I feel like someday I might buy that house, but who knows? Who knows? I have no desire to go back to my hometown, but that house has always left like a little mark with me, you know? It's one of those things that have just stayed with me all these years, and I always love sharing the story of the train track girl. Once we moved out, the owner really wanted to sell that house. I think he was leaving my hometown, so he really wanted to sell that house. My mom's friend's son had just gotten married. He had just had a baby, and so new family, young family looking for a house. My mom was like, hey, do you think they might want this house? To her friend, they said yes, and they moved in. They did not last a month before they got the hell out of that house, because the baby was crying every single night. Weird things were happening. The lights kept turning on and off. The doors would open. They would hear footsteps going up and down the stairs. Basically, they did not want to live there, so a month in, they got out. And that was the last thing we heard about that house. Flash forward to like, in 2015, my boyfriend and I started dating. It might have been 2016. We ended up going to visit my family in my hometown, and we drove and sat outside. They were working on the house. Someone had bought it, and they were working on it outside, and that was that. I don't know. Like I said, I look it up online, and there's no information about that house online. There's no way to confirm or deny that insight I got on those final days at the house. But like I said, to me, that seems pretty accurate. I would love to know your thoughts. Do you think the story was something that my brain just came up with, trying to make sense of all that happened there? Do you think maybe it was like a download from the family and all that was accurate? Do you think the family is still waiting on their daughter? If that is the case, I don't know. I want to know your thoughts. And this actually, like I said, wraps up the mini-series within the 31 days. But we're going to continue the 31 days with a lot more spooky and scary paranormal stories. Just not about that house, because we are officially closing that chapter. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Tell me your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to reach 100 subscribers like I told you guys, so it would mean so much to me. Alright, I will see you tomorrow. If you have not yet, binge watch the whole playlist. We should be up to like 13 videos now, so you have plenty of content to go and watch. So until then, I will see you guys tomorrow. Stay spooky. Also, just a PS really quick before this video ends. Are you guys watching the new season of the Chucky series? Because we're on episode 2 and it's not that great. I don't know, it's giving me like American Horror Story vibes. And I don't know if I love it. Okay, that's all. Bye.